Hi guys, so in a video a few days I mentioned that I was going to look at converting some of the war machines for my Skaven army, so I thought we'd take a look at how I'm getting on. Right then, here we go. So this is what I've done so far. So you'll notice this one here is a fairly vanilla frame from the war, excuse me, the Plagueclaw, with some additions at the back here. And I've got some bits that I'm going to be adding to it. The big change is this bit across the top. Now I'm not touching it because these things will fall apart. They're not in any way glued. So at the moment they're placed kind of how they're going to look, except for this fella down here has fallen over, so his rope is nowhere near. There we go. That was lucky. So what I've done is I've taken, first off I'll start with this. So I've taken these guys off the plague furnace. Now they're supposed to be pulling on the big swinging sensor, and I've managed to chop down there in a way that basically makes them into two separate loads of guys. These two on the left here are going to be used on this one, and the guy on the right is holding that one. So let's take a closer look. So this one is the most stable, he says, as it moves. So I'll get the smaller one out. See, a wheel's fallen off already. So I'm going to take the wheels off because they will just fall off. What I've gone for is I've taken these two these two handrails bits that are on the front of the normal plague furnace. You can see it there in the background. These bits on the front here, where the plague monk stands. I'm going to add the platform here, and the guy on top is the single dude. I've not put his head on, but as you can see, there he is. He sits nicely on there, and then his rope will be holding on to the beam like that. Now the beam's quite washed out at the moment, so I'm going to try and get some shadow on it. There we go. So you can see I've got the wood effect and I've got some paneling. I need to do some more work to it. I've added a few spikes that you can see around it, but the detailing needs a lot of work. It's just got some metal bits, no sort of bolts and rivets and things as yet. This is free moving because it basically just slots onto the two normal mounting points. Gone for a fat piece of tube, and then this is what I'm going to use as the counterweight. So two barrels. Need to do a little bit of work on the top there to basically define how the chains are attached, and then this bit here will be attached something like that, and that will be the weight for that end of that. Of course, the bit I'm using is this bit here, and I've just shortened this chain down just to a single link or two, and that's basically how that's going to go. So that's on there. And the reason that I've taken the arm off this one and put it onto this one is because when I'm converting things, especially if they're designed to look like something, and I'm basically kit bashing like I am here, I like to have some of the parts that they're supposed to represent on each model. So on this one, because the frame is very different, I needed to have the wheels off the normal Plagueclaw and the arm. And then on this one, I've gone for the frame, and then I've gone for the arm being different, basically. Now this bit here I'm probably going to chop off because I've ordered a normal Plagueclaw head just to make them all look the same. I think this is a cool idea, having all this on here, but it doesn't look very plaguey, as it were. It's not bubbling, it's not horrible, so I've basically ordered the bit to go on there. That'll go on there. There needs to be some more work done to convert the end here to make it all nice, and also for the mounting point for the barrels as well, as they hang on. Oh, wrong side. I need to do some work on this end for the barrels to hang on like that. So that's this one, and again this all falls apart. I'm just going to lie that down because it's yeah. Right, then we move on to this one. There we go. It's just demolished itself. See how well that was balanced. What we got going on here is this is the body of the plague furnace, except there's some pretty major work being done to it. So if I just bring along a proper plague furnace, you can see in the background here, you can see it's got these two framey bits heading up in that direction. Those are completely gone. I've also shortened this end here, as you can see. That's missing there. And I've put the smaller wheels on just to lower the profile. I've also put the front off a Plagueclaw on there as it all falls apart. There's some work to be done because obviously it's not glued. I was just having a play with how it works together. So that is basically how it's going to look. It's the same height as this one, so that's pretty cool. So I managed to get the height the same. And then I've been working on the claw. So the claw, I've decided, is going to be mounted somewhere around there. I need to do some work, obviously, to the top of here to make it look like it's properly mounted rather than just placed on top. And then we've got these two dudes that sort of sit on top there, and we'll be pulling it down, sort of like that, but of course done better. And then to make it look like a Plagueclaw as well, because I'm keeping the arm from the Plagueclaw, I decided to use the standard boulder as well. So the boulder will also be used, and that'll just make it look a lot more like a Plagueclaw and a bit more distinguishable from the big plague furnace. One of the cool things was I found it was very easy to cut off the big rocks on the top there that you get on the normal plague furnace. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's come out really nice, especially this one here that essentially wasn't a Plagueclaw. Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed. So that's where I am with those. There's, like I say, there's a lot of clean-up work to be done where I've chopped these bits here. The front here needs some details adding back in, although it'll have this sort of there, which covers up most of the hole. I'm not sure if I'm going to put something in here. If you've got any ideas of what I can put in there, put them down in the comments, because I'm keen to hear. I also want your opinions on this, whether you think this is the way to go for the weight for the smaller one. I quite like it, to be honest, and what I can do as well is I can sort of angle it like that and glue it to the side of the frame, which will give it a lot more strength than just having it dangle on this really flimsy bit of chains that I've kit bashed together. Surprising how strong this is, considering it was glued together from several different parts of kit. Right, so that's what I've been up to. A lot more on this in the future, and of course figuring out all the little details and making it all look awesome. Any feedback, any comments, any ideas that you guys have got on how I can make these look even more awesome, put them down in the description. I'm always keen to hear that. Right then, I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. Again, you can expect a lot more. Oh, what I didn't mention is the bits that I've cut off look awesome, so I can use those in something else in the future. I mean, just adding those to the top of some basic wooden structure makes them look really, really cool. In fact, I'll just bring that up on camera. So I've got these two bits here that have loads of detail, and I think they'll work brilliantly on future conversions. Right then, keep up with me in between videos over here on these things. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.